Hey guys, it's Mike, and in this video we're going to be drawing a fighting pose with fists coming at camera. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to start with a simple arc, and I'm going to draw a head in 3/4 view tilted down. So I start with the arc, and on the left side I'm going to draw another curve, and it's going to stop almost at the midline of that top curve. So now we just have to connect these two lines. And we have the simple shape that I like to use for this 3/4 tilted down view. And so here at the outermost edge of this curve on the left, draw an angled line, connect it to the other side, and now I can draw my eye, not my eye, my character's eye, on this line. And I'm going to try and make it so that he's looking towards the right, which is where his fist is going to be punching. So you can choose whatever eye you like. I'm just freestyling this eye. And for the other eye, the eyelid goes right on that line that we drew, and then a very thin oval for that far eye. I'm going to put a dot for the center of it. And then right under it, coming from a line on the right side of the eye, is going to be the nose. And then I will also draw the mouth. And here on the left, I am making a curve right next to that far eye, going behind the nose and drawing the jaw. So I'm going to round the chin and stop the jaw right there so I can move on to the ear first. So the ear is going to be right in the middle of that line on the right. I'm going to draw a triangle for that hole, and then some detail for the inside of the ear. And now we can connect the ear to that jaw that we drew earlier. And now for the hair, I'm placing a dot, and that is going to be that spiral that we all have, that whirlwind part of our hair. And all the hair is going to flow from that dot, from that spiral. So here's the sideburns. And you can even draw curves that are like S curves, flowing out like that. So all these lines kind of curve back towards that point. So I'm just continuing to draw the hair, spiky shonen style. And so here in the back, the hair kind of matches up with that circle, or that first shape that we drew, corner at the bottom of it. And the neck, I'm just gonna make a curve right under the jaw. Alright, so this is the fun part. So shoulder, this is going to be the shoulder that is closest to us. And I'm going to draw a line going behind the head, right by the chin. And that's the other shoulder. So I'm trying to create this angle like that, that I think will help to create a very dynamic pose. So the closest shoulder is higher. Now I'm drawing the body. And this left line is going to be bending at the waist. But this line on the right is going to be more or less straight, maybe tilted just slightly. And I'm fairly familiar with the anatomy, so I just sometimes like to block in the body like this. But if you're curious about what it looks like, I'll draw it for you. So here's the center line for the rib cage. And this is the waistline, center line of the hips. And check this out. So that line is opposite of the shoulder line. And the shoulder line, in fact, is different than the eye line. So all these opposing angles next to each other, in my mind, helps to create a very dynamic pose to the figure. So now we can work on that arm that is going to be punching towards us. So right under the shoulder, I'm drawing a C. And these points on the outside kind of come past the body. And next to that C, I'm going to draw an even bigger C. So see how this one is much bigger? And that's how you get foreshortening. Is you start with the shoulder and get bigger and bigger as you draw towards the thing that is closer to you, which is going to be the fist. So now in that gap on the right, I'm going to draw a simple shape that helps me to visualize the fist. So notice how I draw this shape. Kind of looks like a barn. And this is the biggest shape. Okay, so this is the arm that is punching towards camera. And now we can work on the other arm, which is going to be further back. And the shape that I like to use to block in the fist for this one is a little different. This one sort of looks like a shield. Kind of a smashed pentagon. And then you just draw the lines for the forearm, heading back towards the body. And so what I've tried to do is make that fist smaller than that fist so that we have that depth, right? You can see that the fist on the right is closer to us, punching towards us. Now I'm going to block in the legs, following that angle, coming out. And this leg is going to be slightly angled out that way. And because this leg is closest to us, I'm going to start it right at the crotch, right at the bottom of the hips. And this leg is going to go behind that. And this leg is wider than the other leg for that depth again. And so whenever you're drawing a complicated pose, you can use these simple shapes, you know, just like squares and cylinders and even simple shapes for the fists. And you can position them and move them around, erase them, and redraw them if you have to. And it's really easy because, yeah, you're just using simple shapes. You can just position them where you want. And then when you finally have the pose that you like, then you can add in the detail. So you don't have to worry about the pose anymore. You can just focus on the detail. So let's work on this fist that is closest to us, and we'll draw on the knuckles. So 4 knuckles on the top. And the middle knuckle is going to be right on that top corner that we drew earlier. And there's sort of a little arc to these knuckles. So here on the side, I'm going to draw a corner at the bottom of that shape. And then now we're going to work on the thumb. So now I'm just trying to find the shape of the thumb. And I think I'm going to make some adjustments. So here we go. Here we have the thumb shape. It's going to be right under the fingers of the fist. So I'm placing a dot just to show you guys that there's a little gap between that line on the left side. And now 2 lines are going to come down towards the thumb. This is going to be the index finger. So 2 lines. And then now right under this corner of the knuckle is going to be the other side of the index finger. 2 lines. And in the middle, we're going to connect the 2 corners to form, I guess, a line for the knuckle. So now middle finger, right below that corner on top. 3 lines. 1, 2, and 3. And we can draw in that knuckle line. Move on to the ring finger. This one, I think, is, maybe it's 3 lines. It looks like 2. You guys will have to experiment. This one, pinky, is definitely 2. And knuckle lines. Do a bit of shading. Shading in the thumb, and one more line, which is going to be the palm that we can see under the fingers. And I want to show you guys what I was thinking about when I was drawing this fist. So some of the things I was thinking about was these knuckle lines get lower and lower with each new finger and have that arc. And also the lines of the fingers, these lines, I want you guys to take a look at the angle. So it starts off and it changes like that. And also for these lines, remember that they start just below those corners up top of the knuckle. And there we have the fist coming at you, at camera. So let's work on this fist. This one's going to be much easier. The thumb starts at this corner. Okay, easy, simple shape like that. kind of drawing the curve for the thumb. Now on top, we're going to draw the index finger, so just one corner. And then on the left side, we're going to draw the 4 knuckles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sounds like an exercise commercial or something. And don't draw the knuckles all the way down to the shape. Leave a little gap. So this is the arc of the knuckles, 2 of them. And now we can just draw the fingers. So one line to the knuckle, and then another line down. So just 2 lines. A lot simpler than that other fist that we drew. Now for the pinky, you want to stop right there because you want to draw the other part of it tucking under itself. And so I'll shade this in. A little curve for the thumb. And now from the pinky knuckle, draw a line down to the wrist. And then all we have to do to finish this is connect it back towards the body. And do a bit of shading. So there we have the 2 fists. Remember, the one on the right is closer to us and the one on the left is further back. So now I'm going to kind of go into time lapse so I can show you guys some of the detail work that I'm going to do on this character. And again, once you have the pose in, once you have the structure of your character, it's really easy to add all the detail because you have a really great foundation to draw on. So now I'm working on the shirt and drawing in these big fold curves, and also on the outside of the shirt, trying to draw bumps for the contour. Trying to remember that there's a lot of folds at the bottom of the shirt because it's scrunching up by the waist. Now I'm drawing the buckle of the belt and just trying to have some fun, making it sort of a designy buckle. Adding in the belt. And the belt's coming out like that for style. So here we have the zipper. And again, a lot of bending at the waist, especially for the jeans. Horizontal lines for folds. And a curve here. And a counter curve on the other side as it falls away because of gravity. And for the jeans, some of you know I like to do research, not too much, but whenever I'm stuck, I just Google jeans, find some ideas for folds, and that's what I was basing these folds on. Alright guys, so that about wraps up this video on drawing a fighting pose. You know, the fist coming at camera. So hopefully you guys could see some of the things that I think about when I'm drawing this pose. Some of the ideas for opposing angles in the shoulders and the waists and the eye line, and also tips for drawing the arms to create that foreshortening effect that the fist is coming at you. And remember, for depth, it's all about size. So if you want the one fist to be closer to you, coming at you, draw it bigger than the other fist that is away from you, and you should have that effect of foreshortening. Alright guys, so have fun, and let me know how you guys are doing. Just thanks again for all the messages you guys have been sending me, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I appreciate any likes that you guys give. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.